Good evening, and it's great to have you with us on a Friday night. I'm Mary Bruce, in for David. And we begin with that breaking news from the investigation into the attack on the Capitol. The House committee has issued a subpoena to former President Trump to provide documents and testimony, setting the stage for a potentially historic legal battle. In a letter, the committee saying they do not take this action lightly, but they are obligated to seek answers directly from the former president after gathering evidence that he personally orchestrated and oversaw a sweeping effort to overturn the election and obstruct the peaceful transition of power. Late today, Trump's legal team with a preliminary response. That subpoena sent just hours after a federal judge sentenced longtime Trump advisor Steve Bannon to 4 months behind bars for refusing to cooperate with the same House committee that has now subpoenaed the former president. The question tonight, will former President Trump comply? And what happens if he does not? ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leads us off from Washington.
Tonight, the January 6th committee making good on its threat to former President Trump.
We must seek the testimony under oath of January 6th central player. We are obligated to seek answers directly from the man who set this all in motion.
In issuing its subpoena, the January 6th committee was blistering in its language. You were at the center of the first and only effort by any U.S. president to overturn an election and obstruct the peaceful transition of power, ultimately culminating in a bloody attack on our own Capitol and the Congress itself.
We also recognize that a subpoena to a former president is a serious and extraordinary action.
The subpoena calls for the submission of documents and Trump's testimony under oath by November 14th. Whether Trump will honor that remains to be seen, and some would say unlikely. Tonight, a terse statement from Trump's attorneys, criticizing the committee for publicly releasing that subpoena, saying only that they will respond as appropriate to this unprecedented action.
Assuming that he will fulfill his legal obligation and honor the subpoena, but if that doesn't happen, then we'll take the steps we need to take after that.
Morning, gentlemen. Morning.
The subpoena came on a day when one of Trump's closest former aides faced a penalty for stonewalling the January 6th committee. Steve Bannon sentenced to 4 months in prison for contempt of Congress and refusing to comply with the congressional subpoena in connection with the January 6th committee. The committee had wanted to speak to Bannon, who appeared to know something big was going to happen on January 6th.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow, and all I can say is strap in.
A federal judge noting that the attack on the Capitol was undeniably serious and that Bannon did not produce a single document or sit for a single interview. But the judge, showing some level of sympathy for Bannon, is allowing him to hold off on service of time while his appeal is underway.
And Pierre joins us now from Washington. Pierre, as you reported, the former president now has less than a month to hand over documents and testify under oath. So bottom line here, what is the likelihood that we'll actually see Trump appear before the panel?
Many would say low. It's more likely that Trump will go to court to try to block compliance. He's repeatedly criticized the committee, indicating he has zero respect for its leaders, Mary.
Likely a long legal battle ahead. Pierre Thomas, thank you.